Mrs. Fodor? Present. Mrs. Faribault? Present. Mr. Kelly?
Present.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mrs. Palastrellini here. Mr. Robinson?
Present.
All are present.
Thank you for being here tonight, everyone. If you're able, please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Tonight we have a presentation or a proclamation. If you would like to say something after, you're more than welcome, and then you guys can introduce yourselves and that. But it was asked that we proclaim Autism Awareness Month. It's observed annually in April, and April 2nd is recognized as United Nations sanctioned World Autism Awareness Days. Whereas autism or autism spectrum disorder refers to a broad range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behaviors, speech, and nonverbal communication. It is often accompanied by medical issues such as GI disorders, seizures, sleep disturbance, anxiety, and depression. And whereas based on the 2022 CDC data, autism affects approximately 1 in 42 children in Illinois. And whereas many people with autism spectrum disorder, ASD, also have different ways of learning, paying attention, and reacting to things. Whereas ASD can sometimes be detected at 18 months or younger. By age 2, a diagnosis can be considered very reliable. However, many children do not receive final diagnosis until they are much older. This delay means that children with ASD might not get the help that they need. And whereas research shows that early intervention treatment services can improve a child's early development, early intervention services can help children from birth to 3 years old learn important skills. Services can also include therapies to help a child to walk, talk, and interact with others, control behavior, including aggression and self-injury behavior. Whereas individuals with autism often require a lifetime of specialized and community support to ensure their health and safety and support other families, and to support other families' resilience as they manage psychological and financial burdens that autism presents. And whereas many individuals with autism diagnosis are able to develop and strengthen skills, hold successful jobs, develop friendships, get married, and have a family. So now, therefore, I, Michael J. Reed Jr., President of the Village of Hampshire, do proclaim Thursday, April 2nd, 2026 as World Autism Awareness Day. Now, if you'd like to come introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Mark Natalia. I'm a senior at Huntley High School, and I'm also I would say, going to be advocate with a organization called Rocking the Spectrum. Gotta get that right. I just really want to thank you guys for allowing me to have this proclamation. This really means a lot. I know that this is a very big deal because there's a lot of people who have ASD and who don't have, like me, who don't have the voice or who don't have the ability to speak up for themselves. And I always believe that they should have the voice to be able to talk about what they believe is right and have their voice heard because they are also mad. They are humans too. I once read from a statement from a show that I watched. Have you guys ever heard of The Elephant Man? Mm-hmm. That movie really inspired me. I mean, John Merrick's story is really something. And it was like, if he really could believe that he was human and have all that and be able to live his life even though there were hardships put on him, I believe that we can also agree that anybody with any type of disability can also do the same, just like him. And so it's very just big honor and big thing, and really just a big thing. I really want to focus on that.
For you, and I appreciate your advocacy and send me the email that we were talking about, and we'll see what else we can do to support.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Next, is anybody signed to speak tonight?
We got no signers to think.
But I would like to take a minute of this time, if you don't mind. We have a new hire that is going to be starting with us in our streets department on Monday. This is David Javros, and I thought it would be good if you guys could meet him and have a face when you see him on the street. So he will be starting with our streets department on Monday, and he actually lives in town as well.
Well,
Thank you.
Okay, and Austin Collins, who worked here before, is coming back and will be working in the water department. He starts Monday as well, and I hope to have him at the next meeting. Just to refresh your guys' memory, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
And he's super excited to be here, which makes me super excited that we hired him. So
Say the rate.
it's a two-way street.
I'm a week.
Come on.
Well, we appreciate you coming to introduce yourself, but don't feel obligated to stay unless she told you you.
Nope, you don't have to say
I'll
so.
stay up. Face to face after I get so.
The mayor would be mad if you didn't.
That's all right. I don't have any say around here anyway. All right, next we have the meeting minutes from March 5th, 2026. We'll review them at this time. I would like to make a note that Ms. Stuhler and I talked today down at the bottom of the meeting minutes where it says that we went into executive and then came out and then went back in. I asked if she would include the reasoning in said minutes because it looks like we're coming out, going back in, going back, and it didn't make any sense. So she's already made that change.
If I could add one other thing for under new business, number 8, it's missing the paragraphs that were accidentally left under number 12, under executive session. So right after the votes, roll call vote, then it's the questioning of EEI contract, village manager, Seahausen stated that we are hiring an engineer. So that was part of the conversation that was up at the top in 8.
Well, I talked about it after we came out of the executive though, so how does that look in that timeline? Because it was talked about after, so do we need to?
I thought it was during that you had raised the question before we even got to that point. And I think it was it.
No, I think it was at
It
the
was,
end.
it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. We did talk about it at the end.
I had questions during that section, you are correct, and then when we came out, I had additional comments.
Okay,
Yes,
then I,
but no, your memory is correct also. I did during that discussion.
2 times the conversation, 2 times the time. Any other comments or questions about the meeting minutes? So, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes with the changes we talked about with, adding the reasoning for going in and out of executive. So moved.
second,
Questions, comments, concerns? All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? All right, next we have the accounts payable. There is a updated amount today. That's what the amount in the packet is correct. But there was a change to the amount today because there was a problem with the NICOR bill. It was too high, right? Wasn't enough.
It was gonna be double paid.
Oh, okay. So we had to make, it was a $6,000 change. Ish, 6348.13. That's the issue. Any other questions? I will entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Jernerbro? Aye. Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay, now I am going to hand this off to Ms. Seahausen. We're probably going to hand it off to Mo. But this is if you remember, we had some trouble with an annexation, right? And this is what cleaned it up after it's gone through the process. It's gone through planning and zoning. They made the same recommendation, which was to approve it. This took the zoning down from M3 to M2, which is what the board's concern was at the time. And just for a refresher, you're gonna have an ordinance here, which is the annexation agreement. You'll have an ordinance here that's actually the annexation agreement, then approving the annexation. Then you're going, as the property comes into the village, it comes in as estate lots, then we rezone it to M2, and then there's a special use for the outdoor storage. Mr. Cox.
And variance to allow the outdoor storage without a screening wall or fence. Thank you, Mr. Reed. So this did go through the Planning and Zoning Commission again for a public hearing for the rezoning, special use, and variance. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval for all three zoning entitlements with a vote of 5-0. That is in front of you today for your consideration. The annexation agreement was updated from M3 to M2 throughout the annexation agreement. The special use provision, continued use of the residential structure, and then no other special use being approved unless it's permitted by the village board. Those provisions stayed the same within the annexation agreement. And the connection to the village water and sewer system, easements, public utility easements, all that stuff also stays same within the annexation agreement. The annexation is, the land itself is 14.8 acres. When you add the abutting right of way, it's about just under 16 acres, because you abut to the far side of the road. So that's the annexation in front of you to consider tonight. As a reminder, the Planning and Zoning Commission does not review or recommend on annexation agreements or annexations. Those go directly to the village board for consideration and vote. There were 3 conditions of approval recommended by Planning and Zoning Commission. The first was a special use and variance will only apply to service construction and shall not be transferred to a new business. If the use shall cease for 6 consecutive months, the variance and special use will be null and void. And then the outdoor storage area is limited to the area shown on the site plan, including the area marked as future build-out area for parking and replacement building. At the Planning and Zoning public hearing, there was no comments provided prior to or during the public hearing or the meeting. And then for the annexation agreement, we did hold a public hearing on February 5th. There was no comments provided prior to that or during that public hearing for the annexation agreement. If there are any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. And Mr. Lincoln, the petitioner and the owner is also here.
I would first off like to apologize for all the trouble that this has been, and I want to thank you for staying with us on this journey.
One question, the petitioner is okay with the conditions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
No, I make a suggestion, Mr. President.
that'd be great.
Would you want, on this journey, would you want all questions regarding what we used to refer to as bracketed? From A to E to be asked now, and then we just go through the votes?
That was, yes, thank you for reading my mind.
Yeah.
So yes, the A through E are all in relation to each other. So if you have any questions or discussion points, let's talk about them now, if the board's okay with that. And then we'll call the individual rolls. We do have the number of votes required listed here as well. So,
for that.
and so if there's any question or discussion on any of the bracketed items, yeah, let's do that now.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank
It's a
you.
brilliant thought.
Thank you, Lawyer Buzz.
Thank you. Yeah. Light year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions? We kind of beat this to death the last time, and I think that they addressed every concern that we had.
Hearing none?
Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve ordinance 26-16, approving an annexation agreement for 44W 452 US Highway 20. So moved.
Seconded.
Questions and or comments?
This vote requires a 2/3 of the corporate authority, correct?
It needs 5 affirmative
Five
votes.
affirmative. Good. Okay.
Ms. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Mr. Coe.
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini.
Aye.
Mr. Robinson.
Aye.
Ms. Fodor.
Aye.
And Ms. Jarnerbro.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Next, we're entertaining ordinance 26-17, approving the annexation of said property at 44W 452 US Highway 20.
So moved.
Second. Questions or comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Coe.
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini.
Aye.
Mr. Robinson.
Aye.
Ms. Fodor.
Aye.
Ms. Jarnerbro.
Aye.
Ms. Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Next is 26-18, approving the rezoning of the map for the new property from E1 to M2.
So moved.
Second. Questions and or comments? Ms. Cloutier? Yes.
Ms. Palastrellini?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Fodor?
Aye.
Ms. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
This one is 26-19, approving special use permit to permit outdoor storage at 44W 452 US Highway 20.
So moved.
Second. Questions or comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Fodor?
Aye.
Ms. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
And Ms. Palastrellini?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
And finally, I'll entertain the motion to approve ordinance 26-20, approving a variance to permit the outdoor storage without screening at 44W West 452 US Highway 20.
So moved.
Seconded. Questions and or comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Fodor?
Aye.
Ms. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay, welcome to the Village of Hampshire for real this time. And I really appreciate your patience in working with us. We hope that this is the last of the issues you have with us. I'm sorry. Have a great night. You're welcome to stay, but you don't have to. Okay, next we have a riveting proposed presentation and discussion of the proposed fiscal 26.2 budget, starring Miss Lori Lyons, Finance Director. And Mary Jo, you're looking at me.
It's not on me.
Okay.
Do you need something?
Good evening. Tonight I'm presenting the tentative budget for fiscal year 26.2, as we are fondly referring to it. The purpose of this presentation is to review the key assumptions used to develop the budget, provide some highlights, and outline the next steps before final adoption. This budget was designed to maintain core services, address operational priorities, and remain fiscally responsible while continuing to meet the needs of the community, and to further the village mission, which is to deliver village services in an efficient, equitable, and customer-driven manner with excellence, sustainability, and transparency. I'd like to take a moment to thank Village Manager Seehausen, our department heads, Chief of Police Doug Pan, Street Supervisor Dave Sterrett, and Utility Supervisor Mark Montgomery, plus the village president and members of the budget committee, trustees Kelly, Palastrellini, and Coth, for their time, effort, and thoughtful input throughout this process. Preparing a budget requires careful evaluation of needs, priorities, and available resources, and collaboration was essential in developing a balanced and responsible budget. Department had willingness to review and re-review requests, discuss alternatives, and work towards shared goals was key in ensuring that the budget supports both effective operations and long-term financial stability of the village. The budget was developed using several key assumptions. Revenue projections were based on historical trends, current economic conditions, and the helping hand of the Illinois Municipal League with respect to state share revenues. Personnel costs reflect wage adjustments and increases in employee benefits. The budget also accounts for inflationary pressures affecting areas such as utilities, insurance, materials, and fuel. And we're counting on the current prices not being sustained. Capital spending priorities focus on maintaining infrastructure, protecting Hampshire's key assets, and maintaining and adding additional essential equipment for our growing village. I would like to share our strategic initiatives, which include providing funds to begin the process of updating the village's comprehensive plan, beginning design and construction of the Park and Rin Stormwater Improvement Project, completing the annual street improvement project, which will be mill and overlay of Washington from Elm Street to the end and Whitetail Circle. We will be initiating local adjudication. We will work on design and complete build out of a men's and women's locker room at the police department. Continue replacement of lead service lines and continued installation of surge protection devices at critical utility facilities. Budget highlights include 2 additional headcounts in the Public Works Department, 1 in the Street Division and 1 in the Utility Division. 2 additional vehicles, 1 for the Police Department and 1 for the Street Division. And continued funding of the Dial Ride program. We also are continuing funding of Hampshire's community events and programs, including Coon Creek Country Days, chamber events like the Farmers Market, the Ice Sculpture and Cocoa Crawl, the Suds and Fun Car Show, and the Hampshire Township Historical Society, and also one-time funding of Old Fashioned Days coming this summer. Also included is installation of a new early warning siren at Prairie Ridge North, continuation of our sidewalk trip hazard identification and removal and sidewalk improvement programs, design engineering and starting of water main replacement on Park Street, and again, lead service line replacement. For those present at the second budget committee meeting, I wanted to note a couple of changes that were made between the budget that was presented at that meeting and the one that's here in your packet. That would include removing $20,000 for flock cameras in favor of spending those funds to supplement the Let's Be In-Car camera grant. This is related to agenda item I, which we'll come to in a few minutes. The addition of $500,000 to the FY26, not 26.2, expenditures for well 13 rehab. And I also took a look at the water and sewer improvement revenue. Those are the capital improvement fees for 2026. And when I kept the same assumptions for FY 26.2, but when I re-reviewed 26 itself, that also led to an increase in revenue for 2026.2. And then also there was adjustments made to the Public Works Facility construction number for FY 26.2. I just wanted to touch base on the special census. I don't want to give away any secrets or anybody else going to mention that tonight?
Yep, you can.
Okay.
Let's go with it. I mean, I don't see an issue with it, do you?
The census count has actually been completed and the results were shared with us this past Friday. For 26.2, the end results, so the end of the count resulted in 9,425 residents. That's an increase of 1,758 since our 2020 census. Yeah. At current Illinois Municipal League estimates, this will increase our revenue over $400,000 in total per year. That's state shared revenue. And this will result in approximately $325,000 additional annual in the general fund budget. So that would include cannabis use tax, and income tax. And then tonight's presentation is just the start of the review process. The next steps include setting the public hearing, which you'll do tonight, and publishing notice of the public hearing to be held in the newspaper. We will publish the tentative budget on the village's website, have it available upon request, and also have it available for public inspection at the front counter. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them.
So with that presentation in your budget, before we turn it over to questions, or in your packet, there is a budget proposal. You'll see the list of accounts and that kind of thing. I want to thank the budget committee and staff for all of their hard work through this. And so if there's questions on either the presentation or the budget numbers that are in your packet, now would be the time to discuss them. You pretty much beat that to death too.
Two. Ms. Lyons, you mentioned the differences.
Yes.
Are those the only differences between what the budget committee reviewed in the last meeting and what we have in front of us today? There's no other changes?
Correct.
Okay. The other thing I want to just bring to the board's attention, one, I want to thank the fellow budget committee members for your time and effort, and also President Reed, who came to both of the discussions. So I appreciate that, especially one where you were a little under the weather.
Yep. Thank you.
One thing we should know about is, or everybody should know about, is we were not able to meet all of the asks that came in full transparency. So one, staff did their tough job of prioritizing what was most important and would be covered, and the total list of capital project and improvements that were requested is nowhere near, or what's approved is nowhere near what was requested. So there are a lot of projects that didn't get funded because we are fiscally responsible at this village. That's something I think we all take pride in. So I want to thank staff for making those tough choices, and they'll have to continue to do so. The other thing is, when we talk about things didn't get funded in total, there was one in particular request that came in from Coon Creek for the festival. Their request this year was $25,000, and the budget committee recommended only approving $19,000, which is historically what we've had. Part of that was because unfortunately we weren't able to hear from anybody from Coon Creek, although they did reach out after the meetings, and they said 19 was great and they appreciate that as well. So we appreciate that partnership. We also did discuss that there, as we've talked about year over year, there's a lot of in-kind costs that we provide to Coon Creek that are not included or represented in the budget, so that the community knows all of the trash receptacles are covered by Flood Brothers as part of our contract with them as a village. We provide police presence. Last year it included increased presence with Kane County and the Sheriff's Department. So there is a lot of staff time as well as from the Streets Department on setting up parade routes. So there's a lot of cost incurred by the village that we don't include in the 19,000 we give. So it is something we're committed to supporting, or as a budget committee, we are committed to supporting. And I think as a village, we've continued to commit to support them. That being said, this is not sustainable when it comes to Coon Creek Days and the chamber initiatives. And why I want to share that is, if you look at the budget on page 15, you'll see that this money comes out of what's called the Hotel Motel Tax Fund. And that is tax revenue that we get from our one hotel/motel in town that is located out near the truck stop. The projected budget for a full year is $21,600, but because this is a stub year with less months, it's at $17,600. Next year, if we figured the $21,600 to say a full 12 months, we're going to look at what our previous 12 months were. It would be a revenue of $21,600 again. However, the expenses at the $19,000 for Coon Creek and the $6,000 for the chamber puts us at $25,000 for that fund. The thing that Ms. Seehausen and I discussed is that every fund should have a reserve, and part of the purpose of this fund is to help the hotels and motels that pay into it potentially ask for funds to help upgrade or update or do things that are needed to help continue to draw business to those areas. So if we look at keeping 50% of that fund balance, and the fund balance is, by the way, for everyone looking at the packet and anybody that goes into the village packet, you'll see the projected ending fund balance is included in the budget. Thank you, Ms. Lyons, for including that. That's the money that we would have if we got all of the revenue and spent as what was budgeted as it's budgeted. If we keep 50% of that, we can continue to fund at these levels for Coon Creek and for the chamber for 6 years. At that point, it would have to either come out of the general fund, or we'd have to reduce what we're proposing to them, because the overrun of what the income will be will continue to run this down. And that's at 50% of the current ending fund balance. That's not figuring what should that fund balance really be at. So that, I just want to make sure this board is aware. I know some will be on the board when it hits that point. Some may or may not be on the board when it hits that point. But that is something to be cognizant of when we look at long-term planning. And so while I think we all want to make sure that Coon Creek Festival has everything they need to have a great festival for our community, and that the chamber has what they need to draw interest to the local businesses. This will be something in the future the board has to. So sorry to go down that path, but that is one thing that I think is important as we think about long-term planning. Other than that, the budget committee fully endorses the budget that was discussed at the last budget committee meeting, and the couple of changes that came in were announced. So, any questions or comments on that?
I have a question, Trustee Kelly. Can you give me a rough estimate of what the dollar value of those things that we already contribute, the police presence, the streets department set up and tear down, and the trash?
I think we
What would you-
I think we figured around 30, didn't we, by the time it was staffed?
Between 30 and 50, depending on, like, with King County coming in, there was additional cost, and so
Like all in, right?
not including the 19.
Oh, not including,
Not
correct, yeah.
including the
So
19.
30 extra.
Yeah, so
It was something around that, to where the total all-in was closer, I think, to 50,
40 to 50 is.
40 to 50 with the cash and the in-kind is what we were helping them.
yeah, because we have to pay our people benefits, all this other stuff, and then like the police is overtime, a lot of cases, and then we, bring in additional resources from the sheriff's office and,
Yeah.
and it's not including, I mean, it does include how much time, we'll say Karen or Mary Jo has to deal with, finding people to go help for other things, and so it's pretty.
The land, we want to make sure.
Oh, yeah, that's
we have a
true, yeah.
facility and-
We don't rent, that's another thing to keep in mind, the land that they use is free, right? They don't rent it, and we don't make them restore it either. So when their machines dig it up,
Yeah.
like, not machines, but their carnival equipment gets stuck and they have to pull it out. Granted, somebody will come out and roll it, but that's all we require of them, whereas when it was in the park district was way.
They needed to fix it up because kids play
Yeah.
sports on there.
So, I mean, there's a huge benefit to what we do.
So I think it does show that the village is really invested, though, in making sure that they have a great festival, or that our community has a great festival, so.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other questions about budget stuff?
I have two. One is, page 5 for the police.
Page 5.
Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Full-time salaries, which I was just curious as to why it was such a significant drop. If we're trying to,
Only an 8-month period.
You're not the only one that's doing.
I know, I've done it a million times and I keep forgetting. The other one, and I'm gonna ask it anyway then, is on page 7,
Page 7.
storm signal system. It's about the fourth thing down. And we're jumping from 6789 is projected to 45,000, and I know 45,175, and I know we're adding one. I just didn't know if it was all going to be during that.
Yes, we hope to have it fully constructed during this 8-month period.
So that'll be the full 45,000.
Correct.
Does that include maintenance of the other ones?
It does.
As part of it.
Yes. Yep. It was approximately $38,000, I believe, that we put in, which is probably maybe even a little bit high.
Okay.
But we wanted to make sure that we caught that covered.
And that's a good,
Thanks.
that's a good point, Trustee Polistrini. We should make sure for the record, for those that weren't at the budget committee, understand. The weird thing about this stub year too is our revenue for property tax is going to be 100% received within this stub year for an entire calendar year. But we're only having expenses for 8 months of that year, if that makes sense. So because we receive, it's what, like June and August or September?
Goes, usually the last one will come in October.
October, right?
Yep.
And so you're gonna, if you look at it and you see reductions of like 30%, 33% or around there, it's because we have
1/3.
we have 1/3 of the year not in there.
Right.
And then if you look at it and say, but wait a second, our revenue shows 100% on property tax, it's because of the timing of the property tax.
Can we also just say, Mr. Kelly, we refer to it as a stub year, we're talking about this argument. Somebody that may pull the video up now, right, and not watch the previous video, we did
Yes.
this year agree or pass ordinances to move our budget year from where it was, which was May 1
May 1 to January 1.
to January 1. So what we're doing is we're doing a stub year, which is from May to January, and then we'll start the budget, or till December, rather, December 31st. And we're gonna start the budget process again somewhere in September, I believe, I think we were talking about.
I believe it is, yeah.
Yeah, and so then what we'll do is we'll do it for the next calendar year. So this budget, the numbers are gonna be skewed if you compare it to last year's
Correct.
notes.
Yeah,
But
so
it's
our,
because of that.
right, we'll go from January 1 to December 31 from now on.
Because some people like to watch the budget video every year.
Yeah, no, it's a great point.
I was just wondering how many people actually watch the budget videos. Thing is it,
Do you want us to run some analytics for you?
if you have, yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
I have-
We'll have it ready for you for the next.
Mr. Selly, when you go to YouTube, there's a little number under a video, and that's how many it says views, and so that'll tell you.
But we could do that for you if you don't know how to YouTube, sir.
Yeah, I don't.
We can email it to you.
So MySpace, it's on MySpace?
MySpace. That's Tom will be your.
My one friend.
High five.
Nobody under the age of 20, well, under the age of 30 gets that joke.
Would you say,
No.
not you, I know this is a stub year and 8 month year.
Yeah,
Would you say the percentages compared to if this were a 12 month year are similar to what we would have been
for the most part.
for the, okay.
There is additional staff listed, so the salary may not be as reduced as you would think it would be. And so we also got an increase in health insurance that really affected spending, and you look at that and be like, wait a second, that looks like an increase. Income's gonna look like an increase because of all the new development. And you may wonder, wait, it's not flat, what's going on with that? So there are some of those differences. It is still a balanced budget. I think there's a little surplus actually in the budget, partly because it's also 8 months, but it's also not a surplus of 30%, right? And so that's just something to keep into mind, that there's probably more in the expense items this year for capital projects that came through because of all the revenue and only happening in 8 months of expenses than you would probably have in a 12-month, because you have the same revenue, but more time, more salary, more other variable costs that would take down some of the capital expenses.
Thank you.
If I could piggyback on that, Trustee Kelly and Ms. Lyons, if you could know what the increase was for insurance this year, which was quite significant, a little unexpected, so.
So, we will be discussing that at the next meeting, hopefully to approve the health insurance renewal. But if you were to compare last year's policies and the premiums with this year's policy and premiums, keeping the same, it was a 19% increase.
So not small.
Which amounted to then about, I think, if I recall, about 11,000 more dollars spent per month.
Per month.
Per month.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so 100 and something.
So that was a significant increase.
Okay. Any other questions about budget process? Hearing none, I would like to entertain a motion approving the public hearing date for the 26.2 budget for April 2nd, 2026.
Wait. We did discussion, so we're going on to the next thing, right?
Yes, sir.
We're on G.
Okay, so now we're doing the motion.
Yes. Well, all we're doing is setting the public hearing date.
Can we just verify real quick? I only know this because I will not be here. That is spring break for Hampshire schools. Who else? Like, we're gonna have a quorum enough, right? You won't be here either?
On April 2nd.
I won't be
Next
here.
meeting.
I won't be here. Spring break.
Nobody believed you.
Make it sleep.
Taking a great kid story.
Oh, okay. All right. So who's going to be here on April 2nd? 1, 2,
That's fine.
3.
Let's be more.
Yeah, me plus 1. I make 4, right? So which one? Sorry, Aaron, you are.
I am.
1, 2.
Yeah.
1, 2. And the rest of everybody's no. So we might not be able to have a meeting.
Heather's not here?
No.
I'm also on spring break.
Well, that's going to be interesting. 'Cause
Toby's here, right, Toby?
Nope.
Okay, so how are we going to do this, guys? I didn't know that. I didn't think about it.
Spring break.
No fear.
Didn't think we need at least 7 days.
Did we?
No, she's not
It's not
here.
It's not a big, yeah. So we
So-
get some
Special
flexibility.
meeting.
So we're gonna have to have a special meeting the next week after, the week after.
Or adopted at the last meeting in April?
Well, can we do a public hearing and approve the budget all in the same meeting?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So then it just, the public hearing date would be set for
April 9th.
April
Well,
16.
we're going down the rabbit hole here. Staff, on April 2nd. Are there things that we need to talk about? So do we have to have a meeting the following week and then also have the meeting? You see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
We have other business to
that,
So what's the business look like, or can we do it all in one in April? Which is when?
April 6th.
16th.
Okay. So for the sake of business purposes, are we going to be good if we have just one board meeting in April? Or is that going to present a challenge? We're all figuring this out at the same time together right now.
I don't see it. I don't have.
So I am going to say that it may prove to be a issue because I will be coming to you with changes to my medical plan.
Okay?
Which then, if I don't do that and I wait until the 19th, I don't even have a 2-week window to enroll people
Okay, so
and make changes. So let
on the
me,
9th, can we meet on the 9th? Right, and then we'll meet again on the 16th.
Is that sufficient time?
yeah.
Is that fine? Are we good with that? I can't give you anything more than that because nobody's gonna be here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess,
I didn't know about
I
it.
guess I should have looked at the school calendar to see when spring break was.
Normally we have a quorum. This is the first time this has become an issue.
Yeah. So,
What do you-
no, that's fine.
You're holding your breath over there. What?
Yeah. It's not the line holding breath. What is the only topic be the budget on 4-9?
No, it would be the budget. It would be the budget and health insurance.
Okay. I just want to know what the scope is.
The special meeting would only be for those.
Yeah, the
So we can
budget.
cancel the 9 or the
It'd be
7th.
the public hearing, the budget, and then the health insurance.
And then we would meet as normal on the 16th.
Correct.
2 weeks in a row. Guys, we good with that?
Yeah, we were ahead of which we could do those on the 16th.
You know, pay the bills and that.
Times.
This guy's been like.
We don't have any details.
Okay.
All right, so I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for the proposed fiscal year 26.2 budget for April 9th, 2026.
Same time, 7?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Second.
And then we'll meet again on the 16th. Any other questions, comments? Roll call vote, please.
Sternbrook? Aye.
Oh, I. Pencil is left. No.
Yeah,
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor? Aye. Motion passes 6-0.
Next, we have some surplus property to dispose of. It's a normal process for us. The listing is there.
I have a question on some of the public work stuff. We're getting rid of street light poles, water mains, are these pieces?
Busted stuff.
Yeah, so we are scrapping them.
Like light poles that people have
And
hit.
we're not just gonna take it to the scrapyard, we're gonna actually try and sell it?
No, we're gonna take it to scrap yard.
We can't dispose of it or do anything with it until the board approves.
I know that.
We're just making sure they're not like good stuff. That's all.
Yes.
Like, what are we taking water mains, well, it's just, selling them?
Just picture.
That was it.
Any questions? Good. I'll entertain a motion approving the sale and disposal of surplus property and equipment.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Ms. Clerk, please.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Poe?
Aye.
Mrs. Paulstrini?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson? Mrs. Fodor? Aye. Mrs. Sternbrook?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay, next. I think this is the change to the Axon camera. Can you walk me through this, chief?
Sure.
Thank you.
On February 19th, you approved a contract with the Axon Enterprise for $126,090 for the purchase of 10 Axon Fleet 3 systems for the squad cars. And that was contingent upon a ILETSB, or Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board camera grant being awarded in the amount of $100,372.10. That we have since been received, or we have since received the actual camera grant award, which is less than we anticipated. It was $72,876.20. We need the board to approve the agreement for that grant, for accepting that grant in that amount, and then as a matter of satisfying the contract with Axon, we reallocated $20,000 from the FY 26.2 budget to supplement that to bring the total amount to $92,876 for the first year of the Axon contract. And then Axon agreed to modify the payment terms to spread the remainder out over the following 4 years, which is outlined in the agenda supplement.
Thank you, chief. Any questions from the board? I'll entertain a motion approving the camera grant and payment schedule with Axon.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor?
Aye.
Mr. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
This next one always reminds me of Linda because it has to do with rock salt. And she liked margaritas, so she would always make jokes. And so every year we have to buy salt, and we have to commit to buying certain levels of salt for the village, and we buy it off of the contract, and there's certain amounts that we have to take and pay for regardless if we use it or not. Did I cover this? That's basically what this is. So the amount is this is our committing for the rest of what we were supposed to take in 26, and then what we're going to take in 27.
This is actually the contract for the state's fiscal year. So June 1 of 26 through May 31 of 27.
Something like a couple.
It doesn't match exactly to the budget because we have to keep that in mind. They don't match.
Any questions from the board?
I just had one with the, because I'd never seen one before, the certificate of authority by vote that's in there. It doesn't specify that this authorization is for the salt. And I didn't know if it needed to be in there. It's in the authorization is in our ordinance.
It's a state form.
It is the standard form, trustee.
Okay, but it doesn't, but there's in there.
It's attached to the resolution.
So it just allows you just to put in the name of the.
Yeah, so the resolution that you're reviewing, resolution number 2604, is the attachment to that resolution. So you will submit the whole thing, not just a certificate of authority by vote. It'll be the resolution plus that document.
One's not valid without the other, correct?
Essentially.
So but it's only attached to this then? Because it's kind of like a carte blanche, and that's why
we send the resolution that says it's the salt, that we send it with the authorization, and the two of them go together because the vote is the resolution, not the signature on the.
Okay.
Okay, so they both go together.
Okay.
Okay, so your resolution is for the salt and the authorization for that for 26, 27, and then I'll be signing the authorization form that is their standard form, and the two go together.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's for specifically this particular.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Didn't know we could do a form like this where you can just give it out to Walmart, so, and the lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's for pizza.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? I'll entertain a motion authorizing the village manager to execute a certificate of authority for the purchase of rock salt.
So move.
Second.
Questions and or comments?
Clerk, you go roll, please.
Mrs. Palastrellini?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor?
Aye.
Mr. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Pope?
Aye.
Motion
Yeah,
passes
yeah.
6-0.
Next is for well 10 and 13, water treatment plant. Favorite topic is media replacement and the amount of $390,150. Pretty standard.
We
talked about
also
this.
have Mr. Dennison on for any questions. that I-
Mr. Dennison.
Sure.
Oh, man, if he's on, we better ask him a million questions.
You ready?
Do you have that background like wallpaper on one room of your house, or how does your wife feel about having to look at EEI all the time?
It is all around the house, exactly. Nothing like dark wallpaper inside.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Good to be here.
Does anyone have any questions about the bid for well 10 and 13?
I do actually have one.
Fantastic. Mr. Dennison, all yours.
In the bid summary, page 2 of our digital ticket, the amount that we're voting on is aligned to Global Water Services LLC, and that's the one that's being presented. When you look at the bid summary, it does not, it shows that they did not acknowledge addendum 1 and the mandatory alternate bid schedule is partial. Are there any concerns around that? Is that potentially why they are only 26,000 less than the next, or?
It was a significant concern when we got their bid, but it was assuaged when I started digging into it a little bit more and also understanding what addendum number 1 was for, which added a mandatory alternate bid item, which after discussion with staff is very unlikely to proceed. It relates to the phasing of the work. Staff would like to do the work where they take all of their cation exchange units offline at one time and get all the work done at once. We had provided an alternate in there to have the contractor work on one of the units at a time, which would have allowed the plant to stay online during that time. But again, staff is very much in favor of doing everything at once and taking the plant offline and getting everything done, which makes that mandatory alternate bid item moot. So when we looked at that, while we were concerned that they did not acknowledge the addendum, in reality, it does not affect the bid.
So let me thank you very much for that. Mr. Vaselli, this question is for you then. Knowing that there's a change in the requirements of the job that allowed that, as Mr. Dennison said, made this not a concern. The other bidder included those items. Are we clear to approve one that did not meet all the requirements as posted for the bid opening? Like we can choose something that didn't have all the requirements and others did?
Can I ask Mr. Dennison a question?
No. Yes.
Mr. Dennison, were the emissions, the emissions, I guess, non-inclusions, were they material to your determination of the bid?
They were not.
And in your experience, you've gone through matters like this many times before?
Yes.
And in your experience in similar situations, you've found these to be immaterial and gone forward with this as a responsible bidder and a responsible bid submission, correct?
Correct.
I object.
That's
as long as you guys are comfortable with it. I mean, I'm just looking at it from the standpoint that from what Mr. Dennison was saying, staff changed that they want everything offline, which makes, as you stated, mandatory alternate bid moot, not needed, which makes that okay. So that's why I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, you're worried about apples and apples, which is a good concern. And this apple has a little bit of a bruise on it, but that bruise isn't bad enough that you don't buy it at the Jewels. So that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. As long as legally you're thinking.
Yeah.
That was my
We'll
question.
attend the minutes.
It did not impact the
Got the
base of the
brambles
bid
at
pricing
Jewel.
for the project, which is being what the project's being awarded on.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Sorry for the cross-examination, Steve.
No, oh, good question.
Did
Put that in the minutes.
did you order the Code Red?
You can't handle the questions.
Okay, so are we having all of our questions answered? Are we comfortable moving forward? I'll entertain a motion approving resolution 26-05, accepting and awarding a bid for 10 and 13 media replacement.
So move.
Second.
Questions and or comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mr. Robinson.
Aye.
Ms. Fodor.
Aye.
Ms. Jernerbro.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Mr. Coe.
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Any old business tonight? Okay, next 10 on our agenda is staff reports. In your packet, there's a police report and a streets report. Please review them at this time. Please direct any questions to the appropriate staff member. Since we have a streets report, I think Trustee Coates is going to answer all streets questions.
Bring it.
Oh, yeah, we could ask the new guy. You're a public worker. Can you handle the streets report?
Not right now.
You'll get a brownie
I'll
point,
get
I'm
back.
sure. Chief, I have one for the, my favorite question about the auto thefts, which is on, I think, the second page, first page of the report, really. And it says that we had one this month, and we had two last month, so we had another one.
Yes,
Okay, was it in the downtown area, or was it within the residential area?
residential.
Okay. Are we close to finding somebody on that, or it's under investigation?
I could talk about it more offline.
Okay,
Break in or
No, yeah,
some of
no,
the
they're,
keys?
yeah,
okay.
no, they're not keys left in the car. They're the ones we've had in the last few months have been actually breaking out.
Well, then honestly, to those that are listening, is to really pay attention. This is 3 auto thefts that we've had in Hampshire in the first few months of the year. And so to really just remind people to lock your cars in your driveways.
They broke into the vehicle
Yeah,
Okay.
and took it without keys or anything.
Okay.
I can say this. So it's a regional issue and there's been an arrest.
Okay. Thank you, Chief.
I would like to turn your attention to page 11 of said report. Of the police report. It's the center picture down at the bottom.
My favorite one.
I think that there's a boy in orange that's not so happy with this photo being taken.
And
It couldn't even get past his face. So whoever's putting together your reports, very good for the topical pictures of including trustees' children.
That's great.
Had no idea.
one's playing with toilet paper. I mean,
Whose kid's that?
I don't know.
Maybe we could ridicule his parents. Parent. One of them probably has their act together.
You are the code red.
Did. Any other questions this evening? Okay, so today we have Village Board Committee reports as Business Development Commission.
BDC met last week. We discussed the comprehensive plan a little bit. We talked about a survey going out, a refresh survey, and then we got updates on the facade program. I did communicate to the BDC that, as per their recommendation, that the budget does not include any funding for this facade program in 26.2, that money was actually reallocated to the comprehensive plan to cover those costs, and they thought that was great. Great that the comprehensive plan is moving forward. I also shared that because there is no funds, and I don't think there's any worries on this, except for two projects that haven't been built in yet. If requests for reimbursements do not come in before the last day of April, then they will not hit this budget year, and there is no funds allocated in the next budget year.
You'll be Megan, but we still have the actual funds.
There are currently no funds in the next budget year, so please get all reimbursement requests in, because we also have 6-month timelines from the acceptance of the facade program. And so please make sure to get those requests in if you happen to be one of the recipients of that before the end of our fiscal year. I
Which is
appreciate
April 30th.
which is April 30th.
April 30th.
Trustee Kelly, can we reach out to those people to kind of remind them of that so
Yes.
that there's no surprise?
Yeah, Mr. Swalwell is in constant communications and is communicating that to them. There are two small projects, or not one decent project, one small project. I don't think it's going to be a concern.
Okay.
Would you, Mr. Khan, have any?
That,
What's that?
I would agree with that.
Okay, and anything I missed, sir?
Nope.
Okay.
Any other announcements tonight?
Just to remind people that there will be no village board meeting on April 2nd, and that there will be a special meeting on April 9th for the public budget hearing, which of course will be noticed up, but since we were doing announcements.
Thanks. Now, I don't. We do not have executive session this evening. I will entertain a motion.
I do have one thing. I don't know, I missed it somehow. In the payables on, page 2, we spent $1,430 on a mannequin. I'd like clarification.
But then you got that before the meeting.
No, I didn't.
So every year we have, that was mine. And for every year we have 3 or 4 regular donators or people that donate to the police department. And I was trying to use it for training purposes, and we had no training equipment. So actually the mannequin was one piece of the training equipment we bought with donated dollars this year. We bought a mannequin, we bought training batons, we bought mats, which we didn't have before because we have in-house instructors developed to do hands-on training. So that's what that is for, equipment to do training.
So like, let's say a trustee was really concerned about a mannequin, would that be something that he would be able to come over and view at the police department at any time?
He can punch it if he wants to.
He's not even paying attention when he Any other questions?
I have one more question. Were we supposed to discuss this is?
That is an in-house traffic study for your review. For the Lakewood subdivision, that what we were talking about.
They wanted to be recognized.
Well, then just look it over and we'll talk it over at the next meeting.
Thank you.
I don't know where the hell was that? I missed the budget.
One tiny announcement,
Tiny announcement.
just wishing everybody who celebrates a Eid Mubarak because Ramadan ends. So congrats. I know it was a tough month, but good.
Any other announcements? Big or small? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Comments?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you for coming, everyone.